right, good morning, TICA. I hope everybody had a chance to watch the Thursday class that I didn't do live, that I pre-recorded for you guys, that's going to go into the workshop format on this new quantum pattern clearing process that's still being downloaded. I want to throw out this disclaimer really quick before I get into class because it's so important. When you guys are doing pattern work, do not try to do it all in one sitting. This is an integration process. You might only get through step one. It might take you a week to get through step one. And if it does take you a week, you're going to collect more data. You're going to collect more awareness from your subconscious mind. You're going to do more thorough work if you do not rush this process. Because rushing the process leaves holes and gaps and suppressed energy and locked emotion. And once you actually say yes to clearing patterns, it's just like you saying yes to becoming. All hell is going to break loose. And I say that in a loving way because it's important for this to happen. Just like when you go get an energy session with someone. You know, you think you're going to get a Reiki session or you're going to get some energy work done so that you can feel better. That is like your objective. Okay, and again, that's your reward from your wounding process is, I don't feel good, I want to feel better. I don't feel good, I want to feel better. So even making that appointment with your energy practitioner is usually coming from a place of fear or pain. Okay, but what we know, all of us who have ever gone through intensive energy repair or work, we know that we do walk away feeling better. And then what happens with the floodgate of energy that you have released? It starts to manifest and your level of awareness increases, and now you have to be aware of all of the suppressed stuff that loving energy practitioner held space, and the two of you allowed the floodgates to open of whatever had been locked in that layer that was actually causing you pain. So what happens is when we suppress, deny, disassociate, reject, what we're doing is we're just pushing it further down in the filing system, and then what happens is it creates pressure. Has anybody tried that experiment with like the Coke and the Mentos, like the little breath mint stuff where you actually put it into the Coke and it explodes? That's basically what's happening to our energy fields right now, is that carbonation effect, where it's like you are asking the universe for something that is in direct contradiction of the frequency that you're holding in your body. And so it is like you are the Mentos and the body is the Coke. And together, when the awareness comes into the body and you say, I want to be happy, I want to be free, I want to be healthy, you are the Mentos that's going into that carbonation, and the carbonation is going to have an explosive result, because basically in order for you to be happy and free, you've got to let go of anchors. We've got to let go of suppressed emotion. We've got to let go of old pain. We've got to let go of stories. And how we do that is first by setting the intention that we want to be happy. You know, I mean, I think that's what happens when we go through our awakening process. We go through this process of, oh my gosh, I finally understand why I'm so different. I finally understand why I've been the black sheep of my family. I finally understand why I had to go through the things that I had to go through in order to awaken through pressure, like a diamond. I finally am understanding, and now I'm really thirsty to remember. I'm really thirsty to know more of myself. So we go on this avid, hunger-based journey of study. And a lot of us spend our entire spiritual careers in study. Because when we look at the material, we instantly feel better, don't we? Like, you could be having a bad day and pick up your favorite metaphysical book, and instantly in 30 seconds, you would connect with the resonant point of your natural quantum self, and you would instantly feel better. But that is no different than taking a Tylenol for the headache. Because being present with the information that feels like home is not fixing the problem that you feel homeless inside of yourself. You're just at that resonant point when you turn on YouTube and go, oh my God, I'm feeling so anxious and so depressed right now. Let me listen to my favorite teacher. And then all of a sudden, you find the resonant point of yourself, and then you go back into your patterns. And a lot of us take the material from the teachers and integrate it. And that's who will move on to become teachers and not stay students. But the universe is not going to allow anyone to stay a student for much longer. So regardless if you're holding space at the density point of 3D and you're stuck in the viewpoint of desire, your job is very important. And I wanted to share a story or a few stories of what's been kind of happening to me. When things are not going well in my life, and I won't say well, but when they're not flowing, okay, that's a better word. When things are not flowing in my life, I know that I have to change my operating basis, which means that I need to go into a place of awareness and I need to watch my mind. I need to look at my mind. I need to look at how my thoughts are equationing themselves. I need to see what pattern of thought I stay in more of my day. I need to see how often I'm in the present moment. And I also need to see where my fear of the future is lying. Okay, so when my life is not flowing, I am not present. Simple as that. So if I'm not present, what the indicator is that I am holding on focus, some of my very important quantum focus, to something that is not serving me. Something that is either I have attention units to suppress something, I have attention units to disassociate from something, or I'm holding energy somewhere so I can deny something, so that I can pretend to be in the present moment and continue on with my life. That is what's really happening when our life is not flowing, 100%. So I know that I need to go in and be the observer of my own mind to see how my mind has been operating. Just like if a mechanic was going to lift up under the hood and see how everything is working together, that is what I have to do sometimes when things are just really getting my attention that feel like roadblocks or things that are not manifesting in the direction of my highest joy, okay? So I was having a really hard time watching my mind, and usually I'm very good at it. I can step out of the matrix, I can move into awareness quantumly and look at my mind and watch my mind and observe my mind, and I wasn't able to do it this time. And it kind of freaked me out because it's been something that's been very helpful for me to know that at any given time I can kind of move away from the character and become the editor and the director, right, and the producer at any time I want. And I haven't been able to do that over the last couple of weeks because it's like there's so much going on collectively. And the frequency collectively right now, in the United States anyways, when I pulse on the United States, which United States is a reflection of the entire world because it's the melting pot, is anxiety. Anxiety is fear of the future, it's suppression of the past, it's a feeling of I am not in control. That is what the feeling of vibration of a collective is. So I too have been experiencing that, and so when I don't feel like I'm in control, I can't do the very thing that I normally do with ease, which is watch my own mind. So I went back to a time when I could do this with assistance, and so I decided that, and this is going to be a meme, by the way, if you ever want to communicate with your guides, okay, all you have to do is turn on music that emotionally moves you. I don't mean turn on music that's sad from the past memories, but turn on music that feels like higher self. Turn on music that gets you emotionally opened, okay? Whether that's Celtic music, whether that's space music, whether that's opera, whether that's orchestration. Find something that speaks to your soul and moves you into a place where you are allowed to feel, okay? And instantly, in that moment, just start having a conversation. As soon as you move into a place of emotional release with the music, just begin having an open conversation, an open dialogue with whoever is there. Because what you've done is you have moved out of suppression of your own emotional field using frequency and vibration. You're in the zone with the music and you're open. Also, when you use music that speaks to your soul, you immediately go to the frequency of higher self. And higher self can then talk to all of the unity that is connected with the ideas that you and questions that you have, which means that whoever is going to show up in that conversation is going to be a much higher realm of a guidance than when you're in fear asking God for help. Okay? And so that's what I did, is I couldn't watch my own mind for a week, and that's why Annette's going to work on me today. Yes. And so I went to the park, and being in nature really helps too. You know, most of the time I have my moving meditations at the gym, but I also have to take into account that everyone's mind is moving very quickly at the gym because they're burning a lot of energy. And so nature is a better place for me to connect with my guidance. And so I went to the park, I put on the headphones, I turned the music up as loud as I could stand, and I went to my music selection that puts me into that emotional space. And I just started having a conversation like, okay, what do I do? You know, like, I'm having a hard time watching my mind right now. I'm processing these 7 steps, and it's taking me down this rabbit hole into my own psyche, into my own subconscious, and it's not a very safe feeling, so I don't feel like I am in control, which is the frequency of collective consciousness. And in that moment, my guides just started talking to me like they did 7 years ago. It was like my trance meditations that I used to do 7 years ago to move into this space. It was like no time had passed. They were right there. They were there to give me the information that I had been seeking in a lower vibration for 2 weeks that I couldn't connect with because I wasn't being authentic to myself, because I'm not out of control. I just had a belief that I was out of control. And so I needed to center myself. I needed to ground myself. And one of the biggest pieces that my guides told me before I was allowed to ask questions is, you need to ground a lot right now. Like, more than you ever can imagine right now, because of the frequency on the planet is moving so fast. You're moving so fast. You're in the present moment, you're out of the present moment. You're in the present moment, you're out of the present moment. You're in the present moment, you're out of the present moment. So when you ground, you have to be back into the present moment. Also, Spirit told me very loud, when you're not grounded, you don't contain your information that you learn. You don't retain, which means that when you're all wild and crazy with your energy stream and you read a book and you go, yes, this is life-changing, and then you walk away, you have retained a very small amount of the information. So grounding has got to be the most important thing that you're going to be doing through this pattern work, because it has been very uncomfortable for you to be in this body with all of this subconscious patterns running. I know, I can feel it. And when you're in the body, all of a sudden you've got this heightened state of awareness, and so now you can feel it. You can feel the dark caverns in there. You can feel the disassociation. You can feel the isolation. You can feel the emotional suppression in your body now. And so the normal, again, Tylenol, is to pop right out and stay slightly outside the body so that you don't have to feel. And when you pop out, your conscious focus immediately goes into the past or into the future. Because when you're not in your body, you're not in the present moment. So this is the first reprimand that they gave me. And so I just stopped my walk and I grounded. And the fastest way to ground, if you don't want to fully, imagine connecting, what I actually do is I pretend like my feet are a plug and the top of my head is a plug. And I just go, and it's done. And I feel totally connected. But if you're having a hard time connecting, go into your heart center and think about something that you love unconditionally, your puppy, your dog, your favorite song, a positive place you've been, and connect with the heart center, and that will ground you instantly. Okay? This is about a 2-second process. And then in the moment, because again, when you're connected with a feeling that you love, you don't have a problem being in your body. It's only when we are not comfortable that we are not here presently. But we're operating consciously like we are. But there's this bigger part. 95% of us is unconscious, living in the past, worried about the future. And so we're constantly figuring out how we can disassociate even more. How can we disassociate even more? So what happens, and I've said this since the beginning, and I know this because my ego was right there when I was creating this, going, oh, this is going to be tough. Because this is going to take you into the cave of fear that literally takes you to the entrance of heaven. And the reason I know that is because every single thing that we do is to avoid fear and loss. But the actual gold is found in the dirt. It's found in the dark. So we actually have to go down into it and be the gold diggers of ourselves and work the steps. And if